President Kiir pledges to support security stability in Eastern Equatorial State. SPLA says unknown gunmen from Sudan killed 11 traders at the border. Minister of General Education rejects claims of irregularities in the national exams. Hello and welcome to South Sudan Television. Wherever you have tuned in to SSTV, we are coming to you live from our studio here in Juba, and those are some of the stories we are bringing to your doorstep tonight. My name is Garang John. The President of the Republic, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, has pledged to support the government of Eastern Equatorial State in implementing its program for ensuring security in all parts of the state. This was disclosed to the media by the Governor of Eastern Equatorial State, Louis Lobong Lojore, after meeting with the President in Juba today. Governor Lojore briefed President Kiir on the incident that happened in his state, where 2 wildlife officers were killed, and the step taken by the state government to handle the situation.
Was to brief him the general situation of the states, and I also came to bring to him congratulatory messages from the people of Eastern Equatoria on his effort to ensure that the whales have resumed flowing, and also for pardoning those who have taken guns against the people of South Sudan and the government. We welcome his decision to pardon them, and we also, as the people of Eastern Equatoria and the government, we also appeal to those brothers who have taken arms to respond to the general amnesty and the pardon then given by the president, to come and we start building these new nations. I also brief him 2 incidences that has happened in Eastern Equatoria, and especially the killing of the wildlife officers that has happened in Bira by some youths from Budi County and 2 villages of Kikilai and Lorema, and the consequence after that, where we send the forces to go and recover the cattle where they clash with those criminals, and there have been a lot of misinformation in the media that we have sent the soldiers to attack the villages, which was not true. It was the criminal who attacked our forces. I also want to take this opportunity to clarify the misinformation that has been given by the media, always saying that Juba to Rit Road is not safe, and people think that all those incidents that's been happening are in Eastern Equatoria. And I want to say Eastern Equatoria is peaceful, and the incident that has been happening, they are very close to Juba, so it is not in Eastern Equatoria.
Well, as foreign investors continue to visit South Sudan looking for opportunities to invest in various sectors in the new nation, representatives of companies from Ukraine and Belarus today expressed their willingness to invest in agriculture and oil industry in the country. In a meeting with the Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Riek Machar today, the officials said they are committed to invest in agricultural machineries as well as build additional oil pipelines connecting to the neighboring countries. The Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Riek Machar, has called on the religious leaders from the Murle community to help persuade the rebel leader David Yao Yao to positively respond to the general amnesty declared by the President of the Republic, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, recently. This came today in a meeting with a delegation of religious leaders from Pibor County, led by the moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Pibor, Reverend Joseph Moti. Dr. Machar presented copies of the Republican order of the general amnesty to the religious leaders, urging them to carry it to Pibor County and show it to David Yao Yao. Church moderator Reverend Joseph Moti, in a press statement after the meeting, said he also briefed the Vice President in the general situation in Murle area. And to our breaking news now. Report from the SPLA says a group of unknown gunmen suspected to have crossed from the neighboring Sudan have attacked traders at the border of Upper Nile State while bringing commodities to South Sudan. In a telephone interview with the SPLA spokesperson Colonel Philip Aguer in Juba today, the incident left 11 traders dead and 3 lorries carrying commodities were looted on Wednesday. It said the National Army SPLA immediately rushed to the scene and pursued the attackers, who later vanished into the Sudanese territory. Colonel Aguer condemned the killing and urged Sudanese army to also provide adequate security at the borders to avoid the occurrence of such incidences, which he said was masterminded by enemies of peace and stability. We apologize for that technical error there. General Education Minister Joseph Wukel today refutes allegations of irregularities claimed to have occurred in the national examination, which is currently going on across the country. Wukel was responding to some claims made by a member of parliament in Juba today. As Stella Loki report, Wukel warned against any attempt to undermine the effort made by the Ministry of Education to promote quality education in the new nation.
Responded to the allegations and dismissed them as being false. The minister, who had chosen to remain silent until the completion of the secondary certificate examinations, was pushed to comment on the matter after the representative of Meridi constituency in the National Legislative Assembly, Peter Bashir Bandi, took to Mirai FM this morning and blamed the minister for exams irregularities, calling upon the assembly to summon and impeach him. Peter Bashir had also earlier on raised the same concerns to al-Bashir newspaper and also during the debate on the report of the Select Committee on the address of the President of the Republic, General Salva Kiir Mayardit, during the first session of the National Legislative Assembly on the 29th of April this year.
On May 1st, 13, Honorable Peter Bandi told al-Bashir newspaper that Wukel should be dismissed for his failure. He further went on to propose in this paper that those secondary school examinations be cancelled because the papers were being photocopied on the street and in the market. The second area was today, on the 2nd of May, 2013. Honorable member of Meridi was interviewed on radio Mirai FM, and he made several allegations against the minister. These allegations are unfortunately damaging to the credibility of South Sudan examinations. And these add to the creation of confusion to the over 18,000 children sitting these examinations.
The minister assured the public that the ongoing secondary certificate examinations will continue to be administered as scheduled and urged the candidates to remain calm and concentrate on the exams. He then added that a more detailed press conference will be carried out in Wau on the 8th of this month. Reporting for SSTV News, I am Stella Luki.
Well, the Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Barnaba Marial Benjamin, reiterated the commitment of his ministry to upgrade the national broadcasting service to meet the demand of the local population. Dr. Benjamin made this remark in a meeting with a delegation from the ministry and South Sudan TV and radio respectively that was recently sent to Japan as part of digital migration process supported by the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA. The team of 8 people to Japan was led by the Director General in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Mustafa Byong.
Japan, an institutional management training team of the top management of the ministry. It was an 8-persons delegation, and this, in fact, visited from April the 17th to 23rd. They visited actually several media institutions in Tokyo and Kyoto and attended lectures, seminars, and technical presentations. This was an important visit because it is helping us in how we can move and transform from analog to digital TV and radio. This is important because all the members of the African Union are expected to have transformed from analog to digital by June 2015. In the light of this great transformation within our communication or information services, it is important that we help to train the technical backup, and in terms of management, in terms of engineers, in terms of programs for the TV, and therefore the people, the Republic of, the Japanese authorities, through the government of Japan, is actually assisting and financing this process. As you know, Japan is offering about $6.5 million in order to help Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to transform its SSTV and radio into a public broadcaster. This will take time, and that's why we have started now to send the top management so that they can see the Japanese TV and radio, how it has developed in the same manner, what institutions are established. So it has been a very, very important meeting, and therefore we'll continue to cooperate with JICA so that this program is enhanced, is assisted in terms of training, in terms of capacity building, and in terms of equipment, in terms of construction. All these things will be contained in the agreement and memorandum of understanding that we are getting from the Japanese assistance. So the team, my top team in the ministry, has blessed the project, and so we will proceed accordingly.
Wow. TriStar, an oil company operating in South Sudan, has donated ambulance to the Department of Health to support health service delivery in the country. The Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Yata Lori Lugo, commended the role played by TriStar company for assisting the health sector in the country.
Some of our problems in trying to transfer or refer patients from remote areas to some of the next level for treatment. And this, I want to thank them because they have made a very important choice of health. These are people who have come here to invest, and they have thought that it's not only about profit making, it's also about the people they are working with. And this means the people they're working with must be healthy enough to give them maximum profit. And therefore, I want to thank them. And I'm calling also on the other investors to do the same. That when they come to invest in our country, it's not only about getting profit and taking it back to their own countries. It's about reinvesting in this country so that our people can also benefit.
Our focus is mainly on investing in human resources. When you say human resources, we are contributing a lot to this great nation by generating employment directly and indirectly, and also by investing on our small children. They are the future citizens of this country. So community development is also a part of our business. Profit not only making the profit, but also community development we are looking into, and we will try to contribute in our own way in the days to come also.
The Council of Ministers in Central Equatorial State, in its sitting today under the chairmanship of the Governor, Clement Wanikonga, after lengthy deliberation on a draft insurance authority bill, agreed and passed the draft bill with amendment to be submitted to the State Assembly for further discussion. In a statement to the media, the Minister of Information and Communication, with the official state government spokesperson Jacob Aligo Lolado, said the council has approved a piece of land for construction of stores for strategic food reserve at the eastern bank of the River Nile, following a request from the authorities of National Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry.
For the year 2013, and shared by His Excellency General Clement Wanikonga, the Governor of the state. The purpose of this bill is to establish an insurance authority to regulate the operation of the insurance companies operating within Central Equatorial State. After the approval, of course, the bill will be taken to the State Legislative Assembly for discussion and the final approval before it could be assented into by the governor to become an operational law. The Council of Ministers also approved the allocation of an area in the eastern bank of the Nile for construction of silos for strategic grain reserves. This was through a memo submitted by His Excellency the State Minister of Agriculture, who earlier on received this request from the National Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Rural Development and Cooperatives. The area is going to be located around Nisitu. Therefore, these are the two important decisions that have been taken this morning when the council held its sitting.
The chairperson of Housing Corporation in Central Equatorial State, Engineer Barnaba Duma Wani, and his deputy, Clement Maring Samuel, as well as the deputy chairperson of Insurance Authority, David Ayub, were sworn in today by the President of High Court of Central Equatorial State, Judge Malek Matthias, in the presence of the State Governor, Clement Wanikonga. Konga urged the newly appointed officials to undertake and supervise the construction of housing and estates in the region.
To the state, and shall be diligently and honestly discharge my duties.
To the state, and shall diligently and honestly discharge my duties
and responsibilities. In a consultative manner to foster the development and welfare of the people of the state.
In a consultative manner, this Constitution.
The transitional Constitution of South Sudan.
The transitional Constitution of South Sudan.
And abide by the law.
And abide by the law.
And that I state and consolidate the democratic and decentralized system of government
of the state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Well, and that brings us to the end of our news bulletin tonight. My name is Garang John, and again, we appreciate you for tuning to South Sudan Television. Remember to stay tuned to the rest of the program coming up on SSTV. Good night and good luck.